Quinn, and Nicole is my mom.
And I'm Lucy, and Shannon is my mom.
Welcome to another episode of MomCom.
We're here to remind you that it's not you.
It's motherhood.
And they do a lot for us.
Like, a lot.
Even when we're being a little crazy.
And they still love us anyway.
Thank you for that special intro. They're just the cutest. I love those girls. So with Mother's Day around the corner, we wanted to do something just a little bit different today. Because while this holiday is meant to celebrate moms, we know that it can bring up a lot of mixed emotions. There's love, of course, but there can also be exhaustion, pressure, guilt, and sometimes even resentment. And not because we don't love our kids, but because motherhood is a lot. Yeah. So today, we're having a real conversation about Mother's Day. So let's get into it. There's so much we want to talk about. And I think, our approach to this is not just the typical standard, what you would expect a Mother's Day episode to be, because that's kind of how we do things, right?
Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of been my whole relationship with motherhood.
Yeah. It's true.
It all comes up on Mother's Day. And truth be told, I hate Mother's Day. I think it is a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
I think it's a joke.
Tell us how you really feel, Nicole.
I actually hate it.
No, I know you do.
I really think nothing gets done if you don't do it. It doesn't matter that it's Mother's Day.
Yeah. Right. It
doesn't
Things
matter.
Don't actually, it's not like it's different day. Like you still have to do all the things that you would do on any other day.
Yeah, you have to take care of the kids.
There's added pressure.
Yeah.
And
then Matt's always so great about the gifts and the, that part. But it's not about that for me. It's about so many other emotions that come up, right? Because everyone has a different relationship, I think, with motherhood and moms.
Yes.
And there's a lot of could just bring back a lot of feelings. I don't have a relationship with my mom.
Yeah.
To me, she's I think in this world, but she's not in my world.
Yeah.
And on top of it, because of my relationship with her, I didn't like being a mom.
Yeah. Right. There's so much to unpack there.
Right.
And I don't think you are alone in that. And I think it goes back to things we've talked about before, where motherhood can feel so lonely. Hence this whole platform that we've created. And, one of the things we did in our conversations about this was we wanted to put it out there and sort of ask other moms if they ever feel this way. And hopefully some of that made you feel less alone. And I know there were some that said yes, I love Mother's Day. I look forward to it. But I think we did have a lot of people also say it's complicated. And I think it's complicated for a number of reasons. All of the things that you just said, not everybody has a relationship with their mom. Some people no longer have their mother. So I imagine that is really hard, brings up so many emotions. Yeah. Some people, their biggest desire is to be a mom and for reasons aren't able to be one. So I think there's a lot of emotions that come up around this holiday that aren't the hallmark example of it's just all.
Yeah. And then you see on Instagram every Mother's Day, all these picture perfect Mother's Days. And the best Mother's Day I ever had was when I was completely alone in my clean house.
Yeah.
Matt had taken the kids. They were very young then. They were 3 and 4, I believe, or 4 and 5 before we moved. And I just sat on the couch in my loft area, which was my favorite place to chill, watching Netflix. I had food delivered.
Sounds perfect.
And he was at his mom's house with the kids all day long. It was amazing.
That's really, because when do you ever have a minute alone? You don't. Right? So actually, but
then it makes me feel bad. Why do I feel good about that? Why does that bring me?
Yeah.
Why is that my favorite memory that I'm alone? Because I'm with them.
I was just going to say, because every other minute you are. But what I think adds so much pressure is to me, deep down, yes, to have a minute in a clean house, food ordered. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I feel guilt because to me, Mother's Day has actually become about the kids and their excitement for Mom, because my favorite thing I get from my kids on Mother's Day is the things they do at school. That's like, my mom is this age, and it's funny to see, like, especially when they were younger and had no concept of it.
Cute.
Like, her favorite thing to do is this. But there's a lot of pressure around, like, there's a lot of pressure on Tim on what it's supposed to be. And I think it was either last year or 2 years ago, like, I got annoyed because, like, he wanted to go to lunch or something, but everybody was in a bad mood. I'm like, just forget it. Like, we don't have to do that. But then he felt bad because he thought we were, like, supposed to do that. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a lot. But my point of all of that was, I do think it becomes like another thing that actually is about the kids versus the
whole
moms.
everything's about the kids.
Right?
Like, so how is it Mother's Day?
Right. There's no such thing.
It's really not a thing. Like,
No.
but we're making it a thing to buy gifts and, you know, go out to eat and moms are going crazy. And I get that if you work all the time.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot of time with your kids. I understand how being with them on Mother's Day, because I too had felt like I'm supposed to be with them. I'm gone all week long. It's the weekend.
Yes.
You know, it's my time to see them. And that makes sense. I just feel like if there's just got to be a different way to do this.
Yeah.
And why is it only one day out of the year?
Well, right.
What about all the 364 other days?
Right.
Why do we get one day?
Well, and I think because it's like one day, that's why it becomes so pressurized. And it's like, come on, let's celebrate us all the time.
Yeah. How can we make moms feel more supported, more appreciated? Why do we just do it on one day?
I know.
Moms run this world.
We sure do.
Like, we make the world go round for everybody in that household, including my husband. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but you know what I mean? Like, I do everything.
Yeah.
I make his life so easy.
But I think, you know, what's really funny when you were chatting before, I remember when I think it was before I was a mom. So Tim and I have been together for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
And so because we lived right outside of New York City and Tim's family's in Philadelphia, in our younger years, we used to spend Mother's Day with his family because we would just take a train. We didn't have a car then, so we would take a train to Philly. And I remember thinking, why is his mom like so annoyed about going out to eat? And like she'd be like, going out to eat on Mother's Day, like any holiday going out to eat, she's like, the food's not as good. And I get it now. Like, sorry, Colleen, that I didn't get it before, but I get what she was expressing. And in my mind, like, because I was just like, I guess a big kid too. I'm like, no, we're celebrating you. But really, she was like, I don't want to go have this meal that's going to be like subpar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to, she wanted to be with her kids and with all of us, but it was just like the whole, like the pressure around it. Like she felt it. And I think that was what she was expressing. And it didn't click for me until literally right this second.
Yeah. And how about if you're a single mom?
Yes.
You know, and who's going to make that special for you?
Right.
You know, and I just remember whenever I go to church on Mother's Day, that's what we do, and I cry every time. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I'm sure it brings up so many.
But just hearing like them validate that Mother's Day can be hard for so many people for so many different reasons.
Yeah.
And then how that resonates with me and how, you know, it just is like, well, why couldn't I have a mom that was normal? Why can't I have a mom that's in my life? Like, I don't want Quinn to ever know life without having me as her mom. Ever. That's what I want to celebrate every single day, that I'm allowed to be here to raise her and be here for both of my kids. Like, that is what gives me life. That's it.
That is, I hope, what you just said and the way you described it, because, you know, 10 minutes ago, we're saying, I hate Mother's Day. That could be perceived in a way that's like, oh, no, it's everything that you just said. You love your kids so much that it's about every single day that you spend with them and that you never want them to feel the pain that you've had to feel because you're an incredible mother, which is why I think the day was put in place. Like, I get it, like good reason, because there's Father's Day too, and all the Grandparents' Day. There's every day. There's
Which
like
is a
ice
joke.
cream day. There's like all these
We
days.
make Father's Day great. You know what I mean?
But how come Father's Day, it's like dad goes golfing and gets to do all the things, but like mom, it's like,
what are we doing?
it's like we're not allowed to have that alone time, but we are. So let's change it.
But I don't know where to go. Like, what am I going to do? Go sit in my car?
Know. Well, that was the other thing, though. So we asked all of you also about, I forget exactly how it was phrased, but the idea of, would you rather have some alone time or all be together? And it was a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Like, and then the other thing we talked about was, what do you actually want on Mother's Day? And you started off saying, like, it's not about yes, Matt does a great job with the gifts and stuff, but what every single person that responded said, it's the unprompted hugs. It's the, Mom, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the smiles. It's those moments. That's the stuff that the moms are saying they really want. It's just that appreciation, like feeling that appreciation and seeing their kids happy and giving them those hugs.
And I think about, I feel like I do a really good job of saying to my kids, you did a great job. Thank you for doing that. Because I'm trying to use positive reinforcement a lot to get them to see. Like when Griffin actually throws a piece of trash away at the age of 11, I'm like, great job at throwing that trash away. Thank you, sweetie. Like, what? So I wonder, in my mind, I'm doing all this also to be a good example of how I want them to treat others, is to be grateful and to be appreciative, right?
Yes.
It hasn't come to me yet.
It hasn't worked yet. It hasn't come full circle back to Mom.
Not yet. I know one day it will. And I hope that he sees, like, I am forever your biggest fan, always. But I just need them to be more grateful.
Yes. Yes. I feel the exact same way. Daily. Because
grateful.
that is a huge thing we talk about in our house. And I don't know how, because we don't want them to have to go through certain experiences and like feel what it's like to go without.
Yeah.
It's so hard because they don't necessarily understand how good they have it really and how to be grateful. I feel like, I don't know, because we had this conversation this morning because my kids were like, oh, I hate this. And what do I have to do in my life? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Guys, we're like the luckiest kids, you know? And it's hard because we protect them to not feel certain things. But I think for me saying like, you should be grateful, and I'll give other examples. I'm just not sure I don't think they can comprehend that yet. But then I get frustrated because I'm like, why can't they comprehend that? Why are they not grateful? And why are they not helping in ways that I feel like they naturally just should? Or I have this view of what I was like at their age, and I'm still trying to figure out if this is fact or not. Like, I'm like, I was doing laundry already. I was doing daily chores. I was cooking. I was doing these things, but like, was I, or am I just,
I was
myself this? Like, I think I was as well. And I'm sort of
I
like,
believe that you
guys,
were too.
Yes.
I think most of our generation was.
And I think I
doing a lot more.
I get annoyed with them. Like, I'll be fine one day when I'm just doing everything. And then I'll be like, why are you guys not doing this? And then like the grateful conversation happens. So I don't know.
I think I've always felt like to teach them how to be grateful, I have to show them how to be grateful. I try to ask them every day, what were you grateful for today? It's hard to, in the realm of the million things that I've got going on in my head, it's hard to keep it going all the time.
Yes.
But when I do think about it, I ask them. And I feel like for Mother's Day, though, it needs to be not one day.
Yeah.
There needs to be something more. There needs to be something different. I think what moms want is to feel loved and appreciated and seen.
Yes. Yes.
And yes, they're children.
Yes.
And yes, they don't know any better because their life is their life and they haven't experienced anything else. I just feel like, can we do something monthly that is something to show the moms that we appreciate them?
Yeah. Or is it just that it should be something that's reinforced? And again, so much pressure has come down to this day that is it actually like making things for some people like worse? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you said, like the single moms who don't have someone who's corralling the kids to say, make sure you do this for mom and make sure, you make her a handwritten card. Like thankfully, I do think the schools do some of that stuff, but not all of them are going to.
And not all kids think about it. I mean, some kids are really thoughtful and write notes and cards and stuff all the time and make things for their moms, but not all kids do that.
But it's also, I'm going to like take a little bit of a different approach here. You know how we've talked about how we talked about like St. Patrick's Day, like what the hell? Why is that a thing? And
stupid.
Every holiday has gotten out of control. And it's just all of this pressure. And then is everything just too much? Like, is it like you said that moms, we should just be appreciated all the time versus saying this one day in May is, I don't know.
One day in May is all we get.
One day in May.
But yet we're doing more than ever before.
Yeah.
I do way more than my mom ever did.
Yes.
And I don't really remember celebrating Mother's Day. And it was always very hard for me when I did have a relationship or talk to her, when Mother's Day would come, because all of the cards were so fluffy. And so it was so hard for me because I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
You weren't the best mom.
Yeah.
Maybe you did the best you could for who you were, but that was not very good. And so to pick a card to send to my mom,
that's really hard.
With a gift card or something.
Yeah. It just felt like forced, right? Like you felt like you had to.
Yeah, it was not
But you didn't
good.
actually want to be. Yeah, that's hard.
There's not cards for that.
You're like, you were mediocre at best. Oh, but
you're a shitty mom. Here's a you remember that
blooper? Blooper. It's because you're a bad mom or whatever.
It's because you're bad at it. Yep, you're a shitty mom. Here's your Mother's Day card.
But so I have an idea. What about
we're gonna make Hallmark cards?
We're gonna make our own card line.
Yes,
mediocre
we are.
At best.
Mom-com.
Hey, people have been asking for merch. Maybe there's a card line coming out soon.
You know what?
I don't know. We'll see.
Why not?
We'll see.
Go big or go home.
Exactly.
One day. No,
we're
gonna do it. We're gonna do it every month.
Yes.
Mom cards coming out.
Yes. So, but actually, because we're saying, and we know that other people feel this way as well, that it's not all just like a bouquet of flowers and yay, smiles. Like it's a lot. Is it worth us telling our moms out there, like the real messages, like you are enough and we validate the way that you're thinking. And on this Mother's Day, don't put so much pressure on yourself and on your loved ones to like, because I think sometimes I have things in my head that I don't say out loud. And then when those things don't happen, like I set an expectation, but I don't share what that expectation is necessarily. So then I feel disappointed sometimes. But it's kind of unfair to the people around me because if they don't know what's in my head. So I guess, manage your own, like
communicate.
Yes.
Communicate, because I have learned that I have to tell Matt exactly what I want. I want to go to this restaurant at this time, and you need to book it a month in advance.
Right.
You can't get the reservation, Matt, the day before.
Well, and that's what's happened to us in years past. And then we end up at a restaurant. And I'm like, this isn't even worth it,
Yeah, that's how I feel last year.
Yeah.
I was like, God, and it was all gray and gloomy because it's in May and it was raining. And I'm like, God, this is so depressing.
Yeah.
So I think that it can only be sunny out.
Okay, so we have new specifications around how
it can only be sunny.
Once a month, it has to be sunny.
And guess what? Go do whatever you want.
wanna do.
If you want to spend the day with your kids, I think that's a beautiful thing. If you want to go spend the day alone in your car taking a nap, go do that.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm going to go shopping. I'll catch you guys later. Don't do what you think you have to do and go spend it with your in-laws or go celebrate this, that, and the other because you have to.
Yeah.
Guess what? Mother's Day is for you, especially if you have kids in the house.
Yeah. I think that's...
If you're doing
you're
that
right.
workload every day for the kids, I'm not celebrating someone else's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want to do.
So that's really the change. This is no longer like, okay, the change is empower yourself to do the thing that you want to do.
Yes.
Full stop.
And don't feel guilty. And just say what you want to do and communicate. This is what I would like to do. Oh, but we want... No. We don't care what you want. Okay? It's what I want.
No. Listen here, little girl. No.
Little girl. Do I sound like a psycho? No. Do you guys feel how much I hate Mother's Day? Do you feel it? Because I hate it.
No, but it makes sense. And I'm so glad you're saying this out loud and that we're having this conversation, because I do think that this is validating things for a lot of people. And
I hope so.
Also, I think a big thing about this platform of ours is different perspectives. There could be very much, I'm sure there are many people who have not for any wrong, haven't thought about this perspective. Because if you haven't had different, these experiences or whatever it might be, they might not realize that this can be a really hard day for
other people. Or, like I have a friend that goes and spends, she was sharing as I was telling her how much I hate it. She was like, I go and I spend half the day with my mom and we go shopping. And I think that's so special. And that's, I'm not poo-pooing on anything. I love that you go do.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing what's authentic and what feels good for you. You know, and how can we make it where then when you come home, she has to do, it's still a regular day.
Yeah.
You have to do all the things, the laundry, the grocery shopping, the preparing, the cooking, the cleaning.
Yeah. There's no days off.
There's no days off.
It's just not. But, I'm thinking about, I feel like one of a recent Mother's Day experience for me that it was just so sweet was Tim and the kids. They on actual Mother's Day, they mulched the front yard.
Oh,
and I can't I like all that stuff.
I know you do,
but they did it for me, and I'm thinking, but I kind of forgot about this. Then I did have that hour and a half or whatever it was to myself inside while they were outside, and then the kids were so excited to bring me out to show me the new mulch. So it's like that's seemingly like a little thing, but that meant so much to me. Like that's what all the wanted. Material gifts and stuff like that, along with, again, I love my mom is this. I love my mom because I love those things. But yeah, that was better to me than trying to go out to eat and have the pressure of does everybody have the right outfits on and this, that, and the other. Just doing something that they knew was important to me. And me not having to do it.
And you as a person.
Yeah.
You are still Shannon. There was this whole person before they came.
Sometimes I forget
before they came along, and what makes you happy? I do love great restaurants.
Yeah, right.
I do love that.
Yeah,
I don't like going to shitty restaurants because you didn't make a reservation till the day before.
Right.
That's not going to fill my cup up. I'd rather just stay home.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you're going to do something that's something that resonates with the mom, then that's a really great gift.
But I feel like this has become the message of this episode, actually, is what that it's about the individual and what you want and how you want to experience that and to communicate that. You don't have to just go along with things because it feels like we have to.
We don't have to go along with the flow just
No.
to go along.
No, but I feel like there is so much that, and again, we talk about this a lot on MomCom, that there's just, we're like trying to break through these quote unquote like stigmas and norms that it feels like we're supposed to be. Like the world has changed. Times have changed. Things are different. We're all working our butts off all the time, nonstop.
Yeah.
So
moms are doing more than ever before.
Yes. I mean, there's actual stats around that. Like you sent them to me.
Yeah.
So
and alone.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, let's go all out for mothers and like actually do, maybe ask them like, what can I do to make this Mother's Day so special for you?
Yes.
Why can't we ask them that?
I think
that's pretty simple. What can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
Yeah.
Or here's what you can do for me.
Or if you know a mom that doesn't have a husband or doesn't have family, like, you know, a little something to make them feel appreciated, I think goes a long way.
You know, it makes me think about what Heather Carlson said. This is in a different realm, but write a note.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Mother's Day card. Maybe it can be one of our MomCom cards. But honestly, just a regular piece of stationery. But write a note to somebody. You know, I think there's little things. It doesn't have to be so
a big
over the
gesture.
Top. Yeah.
It can be, I'm thinking of you.
Yes.
I know this might be a hard day for you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you. There could be moms that are, you know, in the hospital, like sick or, you know, there's so many different scenarios that go on in people's lives that we're not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just try to be more aware.
Yes.
You know?
You're absolutely spot on. You know? We act with grace. And I think, I don't know. I feel like maybe this episode was totally different than what you would expect. I think that's what we're often trying to do, is like say the things that maybe people are thinking but don't want to say out loud. And I think Mother's Day has become so like, yay, you know, but realistically, all the things we just talked about, you know, trying to just be real and validate those feelings that I think certainly are out there. And that
just for the record, you can hate Mother's Day like I do and still love your kids so much. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I think that what I've learned from what I've been reading and the reason why I shock people so much when I'm like, I hate this, they associate that with me hating my children. I love my children more than anything in this world.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can hate something and still love it at the same time.
It's Dr. Becky all the time. Two things can be true. And you're exactly right. In so many things.
And we're going to talk about it on an upcoming episode because I don't want to get too much into the book and what we have coming. But reading her book, I was like, this is why I shock people, because they correlate me saying I hate being a mom with I hate my children. And that is not the truth.
No, you're absolutely right.
And I'm a good mom. You can be a good mom and hate what you're doing.
Yes. It's so true. But I think going back to these like societal norms and the way we've been almost like told how we're supposed to operate
and how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to talk and what we're supposed to say.
Truly, though, I think that is how so many of I don't want to say like, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone is just so honest, there is that shock factor, but recognizing, well, wait a minute, one thing doesn't define it all.
No.
Two things can be true, as you show us every day.
And tomorrow I might be like, oh my God, I love this so much.
Yeah. I mean,
changes.
I've had so many moments where I'm like,
ups and downs
is happening. Like, how is this real life right now?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I don't love aren't so appreciative of these three beautiful humans. But some days it's a lot.
Yeah. And some days it sucks.
Yeah.
This morning I was pissed off because my kids can't get their damn breakfast together. It's like, God, for the love of God, get off the floor with the dogs. Are you hungry? You make your breakfast. What is happening right now?
This morning was atrocious.
I don't understand.
I was like, we are at the end of the school year. How have we not nailed this? How are we still confused about what we're supposed to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. So meet me downstairs. like, get ready. And they're like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this was it wasn't the morning for me. I'm like, there's so much.
And like in that moment, I was thinking this morning, like, oh, I hate this so much. Like, why? Why do I have to be responsible for feeding everybody? Why can't they just go and figure something out? Grab the cereal, put the bowl, get the milk, do the thing, eat it, take it to the sink. What is the problem? Like, why can't we do that? You're almost 10 and 11 and a half, almost 12. Like, what is happening? There's a lot happening, and I know it's not as simple as that, but I was thinking, God, I really hate this. I'm so tired of this. I'm burnt out. I don't want to do this anymore. And then we get in the car and it's like we're jamming out to something and I'm playing this remix of this bomb song and we're, like, it can change. It doesn't have to be one way all the time, every day. It's not the same.
It's true.
We have feelings and emotions that fluctuate because we're human.
And I tell my kids that all the time too. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm like, guys, I'm a human being too. And most of the time the recovery happens in the car. This morning, I was pissed off. I couldn't turn it off. I was like, have a good day.
And then what I'll do when I'm like that and I don't want to talk to them, I'm like, love you.
Yeah.
And I'll say it, or Griffin will say it first because he knows he pissed me off.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, love you. And I'd be like, well, he'd be like, I love you. Like, he can't hear me, And I'm like, I love you too. Have a good day. See you at 2. Like, pissed off.
I mean, I usually turn it around, but whatever.
Sometimes you're not going to turn it around.
I didn't. And then, of course, I feel guilty now because I'm like, oh, I hope they're not in school, like, worrying about it. They're not. They've moved on. They're fine.
They're fine. They're not worried about it.
Everything's fine.
You know what they need to worry about? Mother's Day. Getting their shit together.
Get that card ready, kids.
They better get up, make their beds, come downstairs, make each other breakfast, clean it up.
Seriously.
Please.
And that was another thing. People are like, I want a clean house. I want some time. The other, 2 things can be true. You can want time alone and also want to be with your family. Like, as insane as that sounds, that can be true. And there's a way to make that happen.
Do that in the same day.
Yes. Get the morning to yourself. Go for a walk. Do whatever brings you joy.
Go work out.
Yes. Like, for me, give me time to paint the front door alone without.
Yes. And I want to know what the color is going to be so bad.
It's not bad.
And can you come paint mine? Because mine looks like shit. Okay, my front door is so nasty. I need a new one so bad, but it's added to the list.
When it takes 9 months to get a new one delivered or something.
Well, what I want to do is something like I want to change the whole thing and take out the whole door and do double doors. And, I mean, I don't even know if I can lock my door. It's so shitty. I think I've said shitty in this episode 75 times.
Well. On all of this to say, we do hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day.
Have a shitty Mother's Day. No, just kidding. I hope that you can communicate exactly what you want for Mother's Day. That's what I hope. I hope you can communicate what you want. Yeah. I hope you understand that you can hate it and love it at the same exact time and not feel guilty about it.
I think you wrapped that up perfectly. Truly.
Yeah.
So
do you, boo? That's what I think. I am. Peace out.
Thank you.
Bye.